Hey everybody, DeLongshot Signatures here. Let's get on with part 2 of my Indy 500 in-person autograph recap. Going to be recapping the days Thursday and Friday. Thursday was a slight improvement over Wednesday, but not a ton. Got I think 16 autographs or something like that day. And between these 2 days, I got a total of 65, so that tells you the boost that I had. But there's a good reason for that I didn't mention in the previous video. I think I kind of mentioned it. First off, I was having to leave the track early so I could get to work on time from the days Tuesday through Thursday. Friday, I stayed 2 extra hours and was late to work, but I let them know at work ahead of time. I was originally planning to be late on Tuesday, but because of the rain, I wasn't really sure. So I got it worked out to where I could come in late on Friday instead. And I'm really glad I did that because it provided some really good opportunity there. But Tuesday and Wednesday, I was actually able to get into the track about 20 minutes early because the rain had it to where there were so few people trying to get in that they just kind of let people go. And there was only like 1 or 2 entrances you could get in anyways. So I was able to be in the garages at like 10:05 when the gates were supposed to open at 10. Thursday and Friday, because the weather was better in the morning, that was not the case. So it took a lot longer to get in. So Thursday, like I said, I think it was like 16 autographs or something like that. We have one pull about some more Parkside cards, and I pulled a Ricardo Escato autograph. Guy I got to meet at the Indy NXT signing. We did get a few cards. I started getting these put in the binder, but I didn't have enough time to do all of the drivers for cards I had pulled. I just tried to get as many pages as I could put together. So it looks like we got 1 of Lundgaard, 2 of Alex Palou, who is just one of the friendliest signers in all of the field. Got a couple from Colton Herta, and then 2 from Nolan Siegel, who's also a really nice guy. Generally will stop to sign for most fans. And then I got a few hero cards that day. So I got one from Colton Herta. They had just put these out. I guess these are the like limited edition ones or something like that, because it wasn't until today that I saw that there was a second kind of hero card for Colton Herta, and they much more closely resemble the ones for Marcus Ericsson and Kyle Kirkwood that were out there. But this is a lot closer to the Marco Andretti design that they had. So I'm not sure which one's supposed to be the standard, but hopefully whenever I get back my hero card request from them, we'll have an answer on that. Then I got, I think, just 2 from Ryan Hunter-Reay. And this is this year's hero card design that he had. Had to wait a little bit for him, but it was only me and one other guy that asked, so he was cool with doing 2. Then we got an Ed Carpenter. We got another one from Scott Dixon. Mario Andretti was doing a thing for the Firestone with like a group there and everything. And afterwards, he stopped to take pictures and sign autographs for everyone. So glad I got that. I also got my Ed Carpenter qualification shot that I've been trying to get signed, I think, for 3 years now. I just kept forgetting to grab it, and so I got that signed with the hero card. I got 2 more of Kyle Larson. So this is this year's kind of small hero card that they were doing. And then there were actually 2 different 1,100-mile double cards that they made for Larson last year. So I think this is the one that I grabbed at the track, and then there was another one that they had used at the start of last year, but I never got until I purchased it on eBay. I've had this extra hero card laying around for a while. Finally got it signed. Bobby Rahal. think I got that through the mail. They sent me an unsigned one, and I already had one that was signed, so I was like, yeah, I'll take it this year. Got another one of Will Power, and I think the last one I got for the day, he only signed one of the two that I had, but he was signing multiples for others, so I'm not sure what was going on there. But we got a nice Dario Franchitti. So not much for Wednesday, but Thursday was pretty good. All right, now let's recap how Friday went. Fast Friday. Like I said, I got to stay an extra 2 hours at the track. Went into work at 5 instead of 3. Actually went in at around 4:30, but I always try to be early to work to help out as much as I can. And you'll notice a bit of a switch here on what I was getting signed. Before I was getting a lot of hero cards. This time it was a lot of trading cards. I made sure, I think it was Thursday night, to get home quicker from work. Usually I'll stay after and help close up, but the guy that I'm training right now, I was like, would it be possible for you to do it by yourself? And he's like, yeah. So I was like, cool, I got some stuff to work on. So I didn't get all the cards that I had put into the binder, but I got a good portion of them, and it worked out really, really well. So a total of 46 autographs on Friday. We're going to start with 3 from Alex Pillow. Again, just a super gracious signer. And something that I did a couple times while I was at the track, I just used painter's tape to hold the cards in, and I just used some stockboard pieces of cardboard that I use for shipping most of the time to take those on there. And as I was getting them done, I was removing them from that binder into an envelope that I had to save stuff. And I was like, man, I got all this extra tape. Well, if I only had a couple cards of someone and I pulled another card of them while buying packs, I could just put another card in. So I got 2 of these signed, and then later pulled this back-to-back card, put that in the binder, reusing the tape, and then got it signed later. So I did that a couple of times. We got 2 from Santino Ferrucci. Got 2 from Connor Daly. The Pit Pass cards, all of them have this sparkly border. I think him and Jack Harvey were asking if those were limited edition, and I was like, not these ones. Then we got 2 from Pato O'Ward, who wasn't really wanting to sign, but he was nice enough to go ahead and do 2. I think he had just finished an interview, and he took a couple pictures, and I think one thing that got him in a little bit of a better mood was someone had asked him to sign a license plate that said Pato. He's like, oh, cool, did you buy this in the shop or for the race? And they're like, no, this is my actual license plate. They took it off of their car after they parked, walked in with it, and had him autograph it, and they're going to put it back on the car. So I thought that was really cool. He did too. He absolutely loved that. We got 2 from Felix Rosenqvist. Ryan Hunter-Reay signed 2, and he's really bad about signing on the tape or off the card. So you'll notice there's just kind of some hard stops there. It was mostly on, 10% of the autograph ended up on, painter's tape or cardboard. Got another one from Colton Herta. I got 3 from Ed Carpenter while he was sitting on one of the little carts that they usually bring equipment on, like tires and fuel and stuff like that. They were stalled because something was going on while getting all the cars on pit lane, and he was just sitting right there. I'm like, is it okay if I have you sign a couple cards? He's like, make it quick. And so he signed all 3 of those. Not the best signatures, but still happy to get them. Got 2 more from Joseph Newgarden. He had just gotten off of his little cart back into his pits, and he was willing to sign. He wasn't super thrilled about it, but you do what you can. Then we got 3 from Jack Harvey, and this is the one that he asked about whether it was limited edition. I'm like, no, all the Pit Pass look like that. His standard, and then his Parkside Champions cards. Scott Dixon said just 1 and not the greatest signature, but it is signed. I think this was the last autograph I got for the day. Got Callum Ilott, who now drives for Prema Racing, or Prema Motorsports, I don't know what they're called. No one gave him crap for his autograph, apparently. He's still running with a very short signature, but it is what it is. I got 3 more from Scott McLaughlin. He's always willing to sign multiples, but sometimes you don't get the best autograph from him. Got 2 from Stingray Rob. He is a very, very nice man, but I think he was getting tired of people kind of using his generosity. So he started to tell people, I'm only going to do a couple cards at a time. So if you want an autograph and stuff and you want to get cards signed, he's cool with signing them, but I don't think he really wants to do like a full page worth. So if you do like 2 or 3 cards, he'll be chill about it, but don't bring up an entire page covered with 10 cards asking him to sign them all. He probably won't. We got Louis Foster on his Champions card. Got 2 from Marcus Ericsson. And with this next one, I finally had the full field. I had almost everyone already. Not too many new names because a lot of them came from Indy NXT. But this guy came from another series, and he just won the poll as a rookie. Robert Schwartzman. I didn't even know what he looked like. So I had to keep asking people, like, what does he look like? And they're like, he's younger, but he's got a beard. He'll stand out. And finally saw him walking down to the haulers, and I was like, would you be willing? And he's like, yeah, I have no problem signing. We got 1 from Elio. He was the first one I got on Friday. He was doing some social media stuff, and they did like 4 retakes for the intro. So if you watch the intro to something, it is very, very scripted. But regardless, afterwards, I think there were some cameras on him, so he signed a few, and he limited most people to 1 or 2, so he just signed 1 for me. This one was super awesome. He was at the track last year, but it wasn't very well known that he was. And he was injured when racing and has not been driving since. But now he's kind of taking on a bigger role, being on top of the pit box, racing strategy. Maybe he's a crew chief. I don't know exactly. But he has been out in the garages more, and I saw him signing a bunch. And he was just standing out there taking pictures and signing autographs. And I was like, hey, man, good to see you. Just whatever you got time for. I don't want to take up too much of your time. And he signed all 5 for last year's set. Simon Pagenaud. He's always been a really good guy in the pits. I've always had a good experience with him. He'd be tough to get because he moved around a lot and was always late for something, but he would stop and sign for a lot of people, and I think he was just glad to have, be back at the track and be back with people. So very, very awesome. Wasn't sure if I was going to be able to get him, but he was out and about signing. And then we just got a couple of hero cards because my main focus on Friday was trying to get as many of these cards taken care of. But there were a few of them where I had a little bit of extra time, or I had put the binder up and was able to get these out. First one, I didn't even know they made these, but I found one on eBay, and I was like, surely he'll be out there at some point and I can get this signed. And I did. Johnny Rutherford on an Aero McLaren hero card. It must have been for last year's, the bronze badge was commemorating his wins, so they must have made one for him, and don't know where people got them, but I was able to purchase one and get it signed. And then I had this old Carlin hero card of Pato Award. Saw him around a bunch. Like, there was a bunch of times that I tried to get him, but either he was late to a meeting or he just would, skip over a bunch of people and just sign a handful and then leave. But that time, he was in a little bit of a better mood, even though it was still a mob. And he was trying to get back to the McLaren Suites, so I wasn't sure if I was going to get it, but he used someone else's marker, and it actually turned out really nice. Not perfect streaks, but still looks good on that. Got another one of Jack Harvey's hero cards from this year because he signed everything that I had, so figured I'll get a couple more. Louis Foster on the 500 card, and you can tell that by the wing and the fact that it is a completely different sponsor. And lastly, I finally got the other card that I was trying to get signed on Thursday from Dario Franchitti. So really solid Friday. Super happy that I stayed a couple extra hours. That's how I got the Dario and I think like 5 or 6 more autographs. The morning is always pretty good. You'll usually get several drivers before they have to go out to the track, and it's also a good time to meet some of the legends because they might stick around in the garages to watch the practices or qualifications, or even just hang out for a little bit, and then they'll come out and sign because there aren't nearly as many people in the garages when the practices are going on. But that is it for this one. Stay tuned for the Saturday and Sunday recap. Holy crap, did those days go well. But that is it for this one. Thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. Helps me out a lot. Best of luck with your guys' collecting. Take care.